Well, hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
We are coming at you from a recording this week because Reclaim is traveling. And we are headed to Washington, D.C. next week. So we're in the midst of transitioning Jim across the Atlantic, me up the road to from 95 up to
Which
DC.
might take as
So,
long as me
as
coming
long.
from Italy.
Definitely. But we are headed to two conferences next week by the time this premieres. One, WordPress Campus 2024. We were at the conference in New Orleans last year, so we're super excited to be back with that crew to present and talk all things WordPress. And then we're going to DH2024 at George Mason University in Arlington the week after. So we'll talk a little bit more about that one. But I do want to talk about WordPress Campus because we've been cooking up some fun stuff for the conference in general for this one.
Mainly for both, too. And so, yeah, WordPress Campus, we're going to be presenting on the 2nd of August at 10 a.m. And hopefully, if everything goes right and the streaming gods align with us, the session, the online Reclaim TV streaming session at 10 a.m. will be us live from WP Campus. So we'll see how that goes. Best intentions can always be derailed, but I am excited to see how that goes. Now, what we'll be talking about is we'll be having a panel discussion with Angie Wolf from Trinity College, who's doing with their .edu is being run on Reclaim Cloud, and so there's a lot to discuss there. It's part of our Reclaim EDU kind of offering. Boone Gorgeous, who's one of the lead developer on CUNY Academic Commons, and they're in the situation where they're thinking about, do they keep it in-house, do they move? And then there's actually one of the figures who's behind WordPress's cloud. His name is Jesse Friedman, and I met him in 2016 at the cPanel conference because he was the lead on their small project called Jetpack. So he will be also at that. And I'm trying to coax Charles Fulton at Lafayette College because he is actually an interesting hybrid. He is hosting their stuff. He's an in-house expert on hosting in AWS, but they run all their stuff externally. So there's that kind of hybrid piece. So Meredith, you and I will be kind of working that panel and running it and talking about what are people doing? Can you keep your stuff on campus anymore in this day and age? Will there be a return to keeping stuff on campus? What are the kind of benefits and drawbacks of outsourcing some of that expertise to a third-party company like us? So there are a lot of questions to be raised and discussions, and I hope it makes for a really compelling hour of discussion around hosting your WordPress site and where do you do it and why.
And should you stay or should you go? That makes me think of that song. I forget the title, but it's like
should I stay or should I go?
Yeah.
I think by The Clash, right?
Yeah. The earworm has been in my head as we've been planning this from there. But yeah, I'm super excited about this one. It'll be a good chance for me in particular to talk more about EDU. I haven't actually had a chance to talk about it in a presentation format. So reclaim EDU hosting. And the multi-region sort of thing. So I'm definitely excited for that.
That's one of the things I think that will come up is, there have been companies like 37 Signals who said, it's time for us to return to our own data center because, the cloud is very expensive. And some of that's true. But on the other side, there are so many tools now where if you can get a setup, and it may be difficult to do this in-house or even at a shared co-located data center, to be able to kind of run servers within different regions, to be able to fail over between servers to guarantee uptime. That is a different level of kind of commitment and a different service level agreement, if you will. And we have worked pretty hard to kind of imagine and make that happen. And the one thing that's nice with multi-region for our .edu is when a server goes down in one region, and it will, we can look, very quickly and see that that site has never lost a beat. And, that's kind of, next level server hosting. And I'm excited about it because I think technically it's super cool. But it's not for everybody. It has it's for people with very specific needs. This is kind of mission critical infrastructure. But how do you do that on campus? I guess you can still access tools like Cloudflare, which we will, but do you have different servers in different regional data centers that you can kind of, at a click of a button or a snap of a finger get access to? That's very difficult, even for big, very wealthy schools, no less schools without those resources. So a lot of things to talk about in that. I don't want to give away, but I'm excited about that discussion. I hope other folks are too. And if all goes well, Meredith, it will be streaming here live on Reclaim TV.
Absolutely. Yeah. We are fortunate enough our session actually lines up directly with stream time for Reclaim TV. So I'm hoping we can get that all set up. We were kind of talking about that yesterday. So
well, we also dug ourselves out of the graveyard shift, which we originally
we were
in the 3 o'clock graveyard. And we're like, not
definitely. Yeah. So I also want to talk about a little bit of, like, what I'm looking forward to about the presentations themselves too, because there's a lot of good stuff over the 2 days. So it's 3 days, 1 workshop day, and then 2 presentation days. And I really like that setup, particularly with the lightning talks and all of that. So definitely looking forward to this benefits of automated testing from Paul Glizzo, and just in general looking at automations and potentially AI and that sort of thing. And Paul's a really good speaker, so I know this presentation will be really good.
Yeah, he was fun last year. I agree. He's a good speaker, and there's a very tight community at WP Campus.
Definitely.
That's one of the nice things about that conference is, people know each other. They have a lot of expertise in WordPress. They've been doing this for their campuses, and this is a place to share that knowledge and kind of. And Charles Fulton, who I've been talking about, there he is. Right? And so he's doing a session on cache management in the cloud. Brilliant.
Yeah. Continuing with the cloud talk, that'll be really fun. And then learning Figma and integrating that into WordPress, I think that'll be really cool too. From Mike Henderson. We were just talking about Figma at Reclaim. Actually, we're working on some website updates and kind of working through that wireframe. It's a design tool that helps you create mock-ups for website or graphic design.
Very cool.
So Jason's working through some of that, so it'll be really cool to see what he comes up with. And then, of course, trivia. We always had fun. I had a lot of fun at trivia last year at the end of the conference, so that'll be interesting to look at from here. So beyond that, do you want to kind of talk about what we've been working on to get ready for both conferences?
Well, we had the good fortune, you and I, Meredith, of being able to take a session with a therapy session with Brian Mathers to figure out one of the things we've been struggling with at Reclaim. And struggle maybe is too strong a word. It's kind of ongoing. We released a lot of different products this year.
Definitely.
We released reclaim.edu. We released Reclaim Press, where it talks about rethinking our professional services. We just have a lot of things going on. So one of the things that we found people got confused is what product for which service and how do we do this? And so we work with Brian to kind of try and map out what those services or our products are and how they translate visually. And I think you had a great idea that got us started down this path. So I'll throw it over to you, Meredith.
Yeah. We ended up wanting to do a big poster for the table that we're running at WordPress Campus and DH2024, but we decided to kind of work with postcards and as general greetings from Reclaim aspects. I forget what reference you used for the talked about a weather map, and then ultimately ended up on this greetings kind of vintage vibe of the location. So we've created a poster with the different products we offer. So shared hosting, domains, into incorporating them into managed hosting, which can kind of take on cPanel, WordPress multi-site, Reclaim EDU, even Reclaim Cloud. So a lot of our managed work can be really multifunctional and morph into different ways. So it's not just cPanel. And then our newest offering, Reclaim Press, down in the middle there at the bottom of the poster, and our EdTech services, which has continued to be a core of Reclaim over the last couple of years. And with the poster, it just kind of gives the bird's eye overview of all things Reclaim itself. And we also decided to turn those into postcards. So as we're talking to folks, or if you see us at these conferences and kind of come up with these questions, or like based on the conversations, what you are looking for, you will see some cool, unique individual postcards. So each of these will be the front of the postcard, with this as the back, continued greetings from Reclaim, taking from our always awesome artwork throughout Reclaim.
I agree, and it was great. We working with Brian, and he's done a lot of this artwork for us, even this year. The Reclaim Press, the Reclaim EDU. This one is amazing.
Yeah.
And so the fact is these postcards are kind of, if you look at the main poster, it's like these different destinations or our products, and the greetings from is like greetings from Seattle or greetings from some place, and every postcard will have the same back. And so as we're talking to someone and we have these postcards, we can basically put whatever we want, write a note, or say, here's where you go, or if you have questions, email support or us. And we have this kind of, so we can not only have the map of all our products, but there are also specific cards we give out to people about the product, which I think is a cool keepsake. And then, a personalized with a Sharpie note that we leave for people after we've talked with them about great talking to you at WP Campus. Let us know if you need anything else. Here's my email, or here's a code, or here's whatever. So it was a really good kind of fun strategy where we're kind of like travel agents. And which product do you need? And I don't know. I don't like sitting at vendor booths. I have problems with them. We didn't do it very well last year at WP Campus because it's not really what we want. We want to be in the conference listening. But hopefully these are kind of tokens that get us into a conversation and provide that kind of translation. And it's our second time to WP Campus. So also I hope that there's a little bit more fluidity with us being kind of understanding and knowing people in the community and getting a sense of just who's there and who's doing what. That always helps. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. I think this will be really cool. And it's always super fun to come up with the artwork there on that side. So, yeah. So we've got WP Campus July 31st through August 2nd. And then we get a short break. And the week after, August 6th through the 9th, we are headed to Arlington for DH2024 about digital humanities, and just sponsored by the Roy Rosenzweig. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Rosenzweig Center for History and New Media. A lot of Omeka work there. So I'm super excited for all of that. And some of the fun stuff coming up. We're not presenting. We are sponsoring the conference, so we will be there in attendance. But I was looking through the program this morning, and there's some really cool workshops and presentations. Like I'm interested in the Manifolds publishing workshop on the 6th. And then we've got some cool ones about accessibility and storytelling within different communities, and even a Reddit Q&A sort of session from r/art historians, which will be really cool.
And I think there's going to be a massive number of posters. And I
Yeah.
was talking with someone who's going to this, and one of them is going to be on building mesh networks, which I'm super
Oh,
interested
awesome.
in. The other thing is like AV in digital humanities. So I think there's obviously the presentations, but I think the posters are a big deal here. And I think this is a gigantic conference from what I understand. It happens internationally. It's kind of hasn't been in the US for several years, and it just came back. And I'm sure that GMU and CHNM, or what used to be CHNM, now is the Roy Rosenzweig Center for Digital Humanities, they're probably thrilled. And they've done a lot between Omeka and their tool for, why am I forgetting it? I'm forgetting the name of the tool, I remember, but it's the one everybody uses to build their bibliography. Remember that tool?
Oh, Zotero?
So nice. Well
Yeah.
done. Zotero, and then there are many others that they've done. That's just a few. But
That's awesome.
they're there, and they're going to be kind of, the hosts of this. So it will be interesting. This is kind of like, we support a lot of DH folks at Reclaim. But the funny piece of that is we often, as always the case, because there's so many people who use Reclaim, we don't always know what they're doing or how they're doing it, or the full context of this. So I am hoping that we spend a fair amount of our time outside of the table and actually just taking in and getting inspired by various stuff that is happening at this conference. So this is kind of a double dipping for us. We'll obviously be trying to kind of highlight the work we do at Reclaim, but I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people who are like, oh, we know you because we run this, and we're going to be like, oh, tell us more, because but that will be fun. It's a new, we've never been to DH conference. The folks at GMU did reach out, and they're like, you should really come. You're right up the road and right down the road, and this is happening in our backyard. And so we're like, yeah, we should. You're right. And so we're giving it a shot, and hopefully it was fun. And I think this is where that bigger map of our products works is, obviously WordPress is gonna, the WP campus is gonna appeal to the WordPress community, and they'll be our Reclaim EDU, Reclaim Press, maybe shared hosting, etc., or just managed hosting for particular WordPress stuff. Whereas our other offerings like Reclaim Cloud, or some of our managed hosting that goes beyond WordPress, like Omeka, is going to be probably a lot more interesting to these folks. They're going to want these Docker-driven container environments to do a lot of stuff they just can't do on shared hosting. So, and maybe don't have support within their institution to do that. So I think the conversations at DH, while some of them will be using WordPress, a few of them, I think it will be far more kind of diverse in the usages and the discussions around technology. And I look forward to that, frankly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, my first kind of exposure to DH was, I forget the presentation at WordPress Campus, but it was a lightning talk. It's like the first day. It was Wisconsin, Minnesota's school in Minnesota. Their Commons website. I think so. Yeah, it was. I forget what it was, but just kind of seeing what it looks like for other applications, because like the nature of Reclaim is WordPress, and like we're still very rooted in that, but like exploring the what you were saying, like exploring Reclaim Cloud and the other offerings, like I think that's been really fun to kind of dive into a bit more after that. Like I just really, like, my head just goes to WordPress just because of the nature of support and our work, but it's kind of cool to experiment.
I think on that note, I think it's a testament to how much our team is growing. So
definitely,
just yesterday, the folks at Yale who are working on a very interesting project called Easy, and it's an emulation project that essentially they want to provide services to various universities that allow them to in real time emulate a Windows 95 machine, a Windows XP machine, I don't know if they're going to go back as far as like Commodore 64 or how close they'll go into like maybe just doing like more recent Mac OS 9s. I don't know exactly, but it's a really amazing project. And it depends upon a whole different stack of like Kubernetes and a very custom code that they've written, but they want it to be easily accessible across various institutions, or even this is the US instance, but there could be a Canadian instance, a European instance, et cetera, and that is something like, we're not Kubernetes experts, but we have the expertise now to dig in there and figure out what they need and provide support for people who might use it, and work with the programming group who's building that, to kind of figure out what we can do with our infrastructure and how far, and just to be in that conversation and obviously be clear on what the possibilities and limits are of a company like Reclaim. But at the same time, these folks came to us because they know we support libraries. They know we support DigiHumanities projects. They know we have been, on the ground floor with a lot of these folks. And that was a really rewarding talk. We'll see if, what we have fits their needs, but A, it's an awesome project, and B, I think it speaks very well to how we've kind of moved beyond cPanel and are trying to provide a kind of more robust infrastructure for schools. And that's exciting. And I think Reclaim Cloud can only get, more kind of momentum as we move forward, especially with groups like DH. So it'll be fun to see what these DH folks are using and what they need, and if we can kind of help them solve some of those problems.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that and see where we can continue to grow. And it's always great to get on the ground and see the community as a whole instead of through a screen. So it's always super fun there. But yeah, so if you're watching this on Friday or today, as this is premiering, and you are attending WP Campus or attending DH2024, come find us. We have postcards, we'll have stickers. I have some other fun stuff headed to Virginia for the conferences. So definitely come say hi, and we'll have a cool conversation.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to seeing you, and hopefully we'll come live from at least WP Campus, and we'll see what we can do when we're at DH2024, depending on.
Yeah. Definitely. Cool. All right. Well, happy Friday, y'all. Happy stream. And we will hopefully see some of y'all next week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.